oba n'okumwebaza ne bamwebaza bonna baba balinze omusumba baba balinze ki so ffe twabayigiriza bubi our teaching is not the best. Man must create a relationship with God. That when he appears before his presence, he doesn't wait for another man. Then these other servants of God who are given a chance to be servants of God by grace of God, when they come, they be tasked to seek for things which you cannot touch by your face. But we come and work upon what you must work upon. Where your grace or where your belief cannot penetrate in the spirit. This is where you must go. Oh, mommy. Things which you can explain by yourself. So today I encourage you, build a relationship with God. Let Him give you that grace. People call it a chance. But you must also have the love to know that God can talk to me. But even if today He gives you a good dream, you don't trust that dream. You even run to a neighbor who is not even a believer to interpret it for you. This is the danger we are facing every day. But God is our Maker. He always guides us so that we don't err when we are guided. So in these old books of ababulizi babayita batya mu Luzungu? Ecclesiastes. Mubayita batya mu Luganda? These are the ababulizi of today. So abaweereza b'ebyo biseera baali babayita ababulizi. They were called priests. Naye leero waliwo bakabona b'osanga mukubona muyitamu by English n'omuyita priest wasuza otya n'akutunulira n'agamba otamanyi ayagala omuyite prophet n'omuyite master ayagala omuyite mukulu musumba. So people have now carried names that they are used to, but they were called royal priests in the hierarchy of God. But today we have good names. Even Jesus, who came as the Son of God, was given names according to the languages people spoke who knew Him. Others called Him Rabbi, Father, Papa, in any language. And even call Him your husband. Others are calling Him their husbands by decree and by anger they carry in their homes. This one I will make it today. So people have chosen names for the service of God. This is not good. So let me read from this book. Okay, this is so that we may go very slowly. So my topic of today will be building a relationship with God. It is a duty of every soul, of every individual to have a relationship with God. Whether you want or not, this you must do it. No. Building upon your face is another step. But this first layer, first pillar of your face is enough to protect you as an individual. The day you confess that I'm now a child of God, and you leave these other funny things around, that face around to surrender or to set yourself apart from other people is enough to make you overcome the danger. Why I speak this, people have changed. They are no longer serving at the grace man thinks they operate from. To others, you will find when they are just acting by experience in their churches. When the glory disappeared, but because they have been in service for a long time, God cannot cross them immediately. So, if God has already released the judgment upon a servant of God, people in the church, if they are not guided to stand on their feet and seek their God, they don't receive more from the servants of God. The reason I said, when you appear before the house of prayer, expect a servant of God to fight for things that are far, which you cannot penetrate to. Then these small things, you allow them to be handled by your face. At least people have gained some face. At least I don't want people to say we don't have that face to call upon God. At least there is that gap already covered by your faith, your declaration, by your utterance, by your spoken word you release in the spirit. It is enough to create a crowd for you and at least your family. I encourage you people, know that God hears you. Don't look beyond man's understanding as your own resolution. God will bring a hand to help you at a time of need. But at a time when there is no need, these small things own that face that you can handle and call upon Him. If He thinks you have not understood, He will give you a dream. Stand in that dream and pray to God to make it happen in the way you love. But others, they get the communication of God, they just silence. They just, like this I don't want. No, it is not what you want. It is what God has seen. But when He's calling upon God, upon you to intervene, using your face, so that you call upon your angels who must govern you to make you overcome that danger. Let me read a few words here. This man, Moses, was a servant of God. Very strong one. But when he moved out of the place for only like 10 days or few days, people lost contact with him completely. Even the servants who were left to guard the people, they too lost hope in his return. And the death happened. So I'm reading, go there later. I'm reading Exodus 32. 22. So it says, and Moses said to Aaron, what did these people do to you that you have brought so great a sin upon them? So Moses looked at the servant of God, Aaron, who had remained with the people, and asked him, what happened? What a question from Moses to Aaron. So Aaron said, verse 22, 22 of Exodus. So Aaron said, do not let the anger of my rod become hot. You know the people, that they are set on evil. Verse 23. For they said to me, make us gods that shall go before us. And for this Moses, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. So people lost the faith just because Moses was held by the Spirit of God to do intercession of many things before he returns to them. So Aaron looked at the anger they carried. Aaron looked at the behavior of these people and said, do it. So they had to worship other gods. When Moses came, Aaron only said, let not the anger of God destroy us all. For he knew it was not in the line of Moses to see a servant, moreover old than Moses in practice, in things of the Spirit, allowing the serving of other gods in his presence, even if Moses was not there. So he expected Aaron to stand in his face, in his gap, and fail these people. Had he found when they have killed Aaron, he was going to understand that this is a rebellious nation, and he acts in his power. But when once you are still having a serving priest in your home, any error that happens comes to that servant. This is the only protection you people have. Nothing else. Only that. So I pray that this faith may not depart from you people. Let me read to you this one verse of Ecclesiastes. Five from verse 1. Walk prudently when you go to the house of God, and draw near fear rather than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they do evil. So people love coming to the house of God only to make vows to God. This is not good. I said, once you appear, take more of your time to ask God for a new thing. Forget whatever you know. Assume you are as if you are now a new creature before Him. You want that blessing to fall upon you. But if you come with your program, hey, you conflict with the love of God. You will conflict with the program of God upon that day. And things turn around in a way man doesn't understand. So we pray that no danger happens before people who can still call upon God. People must call upon God in their measure. At least say, when I pray, something stops me from raising a hand. And you need power to make you raise your hand up straight. That one will make sense. But say I've been born again for 20 years. But if I get a bad dream, I run to the church. It is not wisdom of God. It is fear. It is what? Fear is an active. It is an active pass of the enemy. So know that in your heart you are operating under the influence of the enemy. Once, if you are still able to be weakened by just a dream, then know that the danger involved. The danger involved is equal to the fear. Fear is just a sign that the enemy either is monitoring you or is seeking to take over your programs. Never allow fear to rule you whenever you get a communication of God. Who will understand what I'm saying? Once you get a word of God, know that it is superior than what you have seen when God is declaring such a word to you. Once you get a dream of God, alerting you of the danger you are yet to head to, that word you have received maybe in a dream. Let me return it to our level of oneness of God. Maybe you have received a dream and the communication of God. Make sure that dream doesn't create fear in you. Not that it is God communicating to me. Then you ask God, what should my measure do in this? If He gives you another dream to go and get a pastor, then you rush. But if He's still saying, shh, that this is what is yet to happen, then know that He cannot show you a sin without the intervention of the program of God. 2:14-17 of Ephesians. Building a relationship with God. 14 says, for He Himself is our peace, who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of separation. So this old man, Jesus, I think he is now old. Is he still a young child? I think he is now. He deserves to be old because if we are his descendants, if we are the products he left on this land, and we are no longer children in the house, we are now at the level of sons. So he is now old. So this old man Jesus said, He has broken down the wall that separates us from communicating our Father in heaven. He never said, I have broken this for only servants of God. At least there is what we can now release. These other servants of God will humble any dimensional danger in the spirit. Then the next, from 15 says, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, that is the law of commandments contained in ordinances, so as to create in himself one new man for the two, thus making peace. Meaning peace is not a thing of one person. You cannot be peaceful when your neighbors have a danger. Whether you love or not, even if you hate them, the oneness of your neighbors, the oneness of your friends, the oneness of your relatives with you will affect you. So, peace is not a thing of one person. These are the things I said. This is where you need servants of God. Pray for you things that are of majority. Peace comes for nations. But these small things, joy, love, this you can handle. It is in abundance. These things Jesus left them here for us to use them as a way to communicate to our Father. May every communication, man, there is in the spirit. Create for such a person the peace required to accommodate the danger he is holding. Some people are holding dangers that require even the intervention of such a person that is holding the danger. No sango inechizibu with even your workmate, just in your manga musharinga the same room. And you need a pastor to come and break that neighbor or co-worker or a person that sits near you. And you forget the dangers that are far from you, that even when he goes, another danger will get a door to make him. The rest of us, 16. And that he might reconcile them both to God in one body through the cross, thereby putting to death the enmity. So who is the greatest enemy? Is only death. So Jesus removed this curtain of fear, because he knew that people will fear death. When it comes, they cannot even reason. But this was the fear Jesus worked upon. Even I called him an old man, for he overcame death. Overcame death of these bodies. You cannot kill him in the body, for he overcame such. Therefore, 2:17. And he came and preached peace to you who were afar off, and to those who were near. For now, through him, we both have access by one Spirit to the Father. Through Jesus, you listen to that secret of today. Through him, verse 18, through, we have access of oneness to our Father. Leave not this message here. It is your protection. Where you are praying and you think your prayer has not reached, consult. But don't go sit in your bed and say, as long as I have my pastor, I'll just carry water, carry money, he will intercede for me. He will eat all your goodness. And God says you have never prayed. I encourage you all. Start your own prayer to God. He will listen to you. This is a word of encouragement. Word of what? So, my daughter, Sarah, you do what was Sunday bang at the get what for a prayer you think. is delayed for a long time, but not a burden you have been carrying for a long time. These are two different things. A prayer waits for an answer. A burden requires the intervention of the hand of God to break it. That one is not part of your prayer. If it is a burden, don't pray for a burden to go away. You appoint people to break it. But what you need in your life as an answer, you just pray. These are two different things, but when they look the same. If there is what you need from God, fear not to pray, you will listen. But if you already have a problem, meaning that it has already defeated you, it is where you now need to seek for a higher power. The reason servants of God must intervene in such a problem. Short of this, people will pray wrong prayers. The problem that must be broken by the servant of God, you find when you are the one handling it. Yours is to pray. When God is answering, He cannot fail to answer by breaking that evil or hand that is tormenting you at night. So servants of God now comes. They come as a power to break whatever is stopping your prayers to be understood. This is the curtain. Jesus said, I break it, this wall that stops my people from communicating God. People had loved to be served always on the table of Jesus. But He sent them. Others came rejoicing. For they never expected it. That these other spirits can obey their commandments. They are stubborn spirits that don't obey the word man speaks. But when they obey the power in the spirit, a man will speak upon such a situation. So once you understand the power behind the word you speak, you don't fear to break dangers. Moses said, I wish all could be like Moses. When people were complaining that others are prophesying in the camp when they are not in the house of God. So he said, I wish all could have such a grace to see dangers before they happen. You will have little work to do upon the children of God. So we are before God. What does it mean? Today, take your face. Because this soul, this body God gave you, owns a mark of heaven by creation. There is a mark God puts upon you before you come on this earth. It is that mark that makes you an answer in this land. May God protect our hearts. May God stand for the many families we represent in this land. There are others who are here in their families, but when they live in fear, when you are a protection but you have fear, the whole family will be shaken by the enemy. Take heart that God listens to every prayer of man. Once you understand this, you don't quarrel with God. You pray to Him for an answer. May God give you the grace always to call upon Him than complaining to Him. Always. Thank you for your declaration. This is just a declaration of God that He wishes us to call upon Him without looking at what we know is an answer. When Moses now comes to ask God to allow His Spirit be a mediator between Moses as a servant of God and between your soul as a point of contact to call upon God. Finish. Very small issue. Building a relationship with God matters in society. Father, thank you. He is our author. He is a finisher of everything he starts. May He put a good way for all.